Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Capital Talk with RVBusiness, sponsored by Dicor Corporation. With me, as always, is Sherman Goldenberg of RVBusiness. I'm Rick Kessler of RVBusiness, and joining us is Michael Happe, President and CEO of Winnebago Industries. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
I wanted to say something about the snow behind you, but I think that's probably not snow.
No, it's spring here in Minnesota. We may not be out of the woods yet with snow, but we can see spring coming.
Well, there's so many different directions we could start with this, but why don't we start with last week's quarterly report, the second quarter for Winnebago. Congratulations. Is pretty positive all across the board.
Yeah, we are pleased with the results from our second quarter of our fiscal year 2021. And Rick, I'm probably most pleased that the results that you heard us describe were all organic. There was no impact from new acquisitions or new business in the results. That was a year-over-year organic comparison of the company's progress. And so we feel good about the direction our company is headed, and our teams within each of our brands are working hard, obviously, in the market.
I should point out that just a few highlights of that performance of those results. Let me read this so I get it right. Almost $840 million in revenue, which is a record, I believe. And that's up 34% second quarter last year. Let's see, gross profit, 156 plus million. That's up 96%. And then triple digit increases for operating income and net income. Again, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. You know, it's I get the privilege of being the messenger on days like that. And there's 6,000 employees who are right in front of me, doing all the heavy lifting and all the important work. So it's great to carry their rewards forward.
Sure.
I would simply, to take this conversation to the next level. This isn't a 6-month plan. It's evident for those of us who watch the RV industry news in among the major OEMs, that this for you is part of a bigger picture, isn't it?
Well, sure. We've been working on, bringing Winnebago, back to a level of, respectability and competitiveness, and certainly stronger financial performance for, more than 5 years now. And, we are pleased with the progress we've made in those 5 years. We put together, I think, what is one of the most respected stables of premium brands in the outdoor industry, with Winnebago, Grand Design, Newmar, and Chris-Craft. But we are by no means, finished, with what we think we can create here at the company. And again, we're very end customer focused. We value our channel partners, our dealer network greatly. We've got great relationships with a supplier network that's working overtime these days to get us components. And at the end of the day, it's our employees that make all the difference. They are the ones who care deeply about the products and the experiences our end consumers receive. And so, yeah, it's been a privilege, leading the transformation here. But I can just humbly tell you that we're thirsty for, more progress, in the future.
Where that future, just give us a bit of a teaser. This word outdoor, we've been hearing more of. This is part of that future expansion of that, right?
Well, we've been hopefully consistently clear with what our vision is here at the company. We certainly recognize that our legacy is, almost exclusively recreational vehicles, and that will be our core business for a very, very long time. We're not running from that. We're embracing that. In fact, we have a fantastic RV lineup now across both the towable segment and the motorized segment. We compete in almost every subsegment of the North American RV business, and we're gaining share on a monthly, quarterly, annual basis with the three great RV brands we have. And so we predict a very bright future for us in the RV business. We don't aspire to be the biggest, but candidly, we want to be respected as hopefully the best OEM in the industry in terms of your overall experience with our people and with our products and services. But we do want to add some different legs to our stool, and we've been very forthright that we hope to build some substance and quality in a marine segment over time. And we've always had a very small specialty vehicles business, but we have ambitions to make that bigger as well. So outdoor recreational mobility is certainly sort of the umbrella that we're trying to build some successful businesses under. And, we don't necessarily view those as distinct and separate businesses. There's a lot of synergy in our value chain, in our operating model throughout the company that we believe, give us permission to get into some of those other segments besides RVs and have success as well. So lots of work to do though, guys. We're very, very early in that journey, but we now have a healthier foundation to build the company from with what we've done in the last 5 years to stabilize and improve our position in RVs.
Building a specialty, we notice in Class Bs, for one thing.
Well, Class Bs has certainly been, one of our strong suits for many years. We were one of the early leaders in the Class B category as sort of the hashtag van life began to gain momentum here within the last 6 or 7 years. And that's a category that's just going to continue to grow, and it's going to be more crowded. We've had market share leadership for some time, and we intend to retain market, share leadership, but it's going to be a more crowded space, and our team's going to have to come to work every day, ready to innovate and continue to compete vigorously in the market. But that business continues to be, from a percentage standpoint, our fastest growing RV segment in the entire portfolio.
When you say specialty vehicles, by the way, does that include your Bs, or is that beyond your Bs? And does that take you into to EV stuff?
Yeah, I would put Class Bs in our traditional, RV segment. When we talk about specialty vehicles, we're talking about accessibility enhanced. We're talking about mobile medical. We're talking about customized chassis, and we are talking about electric vehicles as well. We were one of the first OEMs to bring to market a fully electric, Class A vehicle, that's out in the market today doing good work in several urban areas with customers mostly around medical applications. But the specialty vehicle segment is a broad one. And, listen, we'll be very precise over time. I don't want to get too far ahead of our strategic plans there, but we can certainly leverage, the knowledge and the expertise we have on the recreational vehicle side to build a little bit bigger, more profitable business in SVs as well.
Rick?
Mike, I want to have you touch on several topics that came up in last week's investment analyst call following the quarterly report. Field inventory, everyone's challenged with it right now. Maybe you could comment on where Winnebago's at with that, and then how you see this might be playing out the rest of this year.
Well, field inventory, Rick, continues to be very low in the field, and it varies by brand in our portfolio. It varies by product category. Field inventory is anywhere from 20% down in some of our businesses to as much as 60% down in some of our other businesses. And so the dealers are still very much, rightly asking for as much product as they can get. As you guys know, retail is beginning to gain more and more momentum across the country, certainly for some time in the southern parts, but now as spring is approaching in the northern parts of the country, retail is heating up again. And so dealers need that product to continue serving customers. So, we mentioned in our investor call last week that we really don't believe that we'll catch up from a field inventory standpoint until sometime in the third or fourth calendar quarter of 2022. It's probably going to take another 12 to 18 months, for the RV industry in North America to get completely right sized. There'll be some portions that get there sooner than others, but we have a long ways to go, and that's good news to some degree because retail continues to be very strong. I just looked at a retail report within the last couple hours for our businesses, ending last week, and it continues to be very strong, as we go into late March and early April here. So as you guys know, the stronger retail is in the market, the longer it's probably going to take, candidly, for the OEMs to catch up on the wholesale side. And you guys have been in the industry a long time. This is one of the most unique periods that we've seen, in some time, and everybody's working hard, both at the OEM level, but also at the supplier level and at the dealer level, to try to keep up with the market. And so it's a lot of fun, but it's also nerve-wracking at times.
Rick, you ready to wrap? Pretty quick.
One last question, and that's, if I can, Mike. Ironically, I think you mentioned in this call last week, you had 49% more shipments this second quarter than you did the previous year's second quarter. Hard to justify or balance that out for me anyway.
Yeah, it was a great quarter in terms of, production output and shipment output. But yet, we still, probably look at each other every day here and wish we could have gotten more out, with some of the challenges that we continue to have on the supply chain side. And I wanted to be clear in the call that, we would not have been able to ship 49% more units in that period without the great work from our suppliers within the industry. And we're very grateful and appreciative for that. And by the way, the industry in that same period shipped 38% more units. So we took pretty meaningful shipment share during those 3 months of December, January, and February. And so we hope that will translate as well into more retail share in the future. But the teams are working incredibly hard. We're investing in capacity expansion as we speak in a very smart way. We don't want to overbuild, knowing that we operate in a cyclical industry, but we do think there's definite reasons to continue to try to create more space to create, or produce more RVs. So we've got a lot of work to do in the future. And by the way, I want our dealers to know, if they watch this, that in no way, shape, form, or fashion will we ever sacrifice product quality, for volume. Quality, innovation, and service is part of our DNA. We hope that all brands in Winnebago Industries bring those attributes to market. And it's our commitment to the market to not sacrifice any of those, especially product quality and consumer safety, as we race to get more products out in the market. So that's our commitment, is more, but more at a very high quality level.
Thank you, Mike. Seriously, great interview. Rick, did you have anything to add?
Well, I promised Mike that every time he and I would talk, I would always ask him what his next acquisition would be.
And what's my answer, Rick? I don't know if I've ever answered your question. So
your answer has always been, I'll let you know when I can let you know. Something along those lines.
All right.
Acquisitions are not things you generally control from a timing standpoint. So,
Mike, thanks again very much.
Thank you, man.
All right, guys, great to see you.
We appreciate it.